My sister stole my $10 million inheritance, and I waited 7 years to get my revenge. Revenge isn't about what you do in the moment, but about what you plan in the shadows. They never imagined that the power was in my hands all along. I'm going to tell you how I made them all regret and pay for what they did. When you discover what I did, you'll understand why they couldn't predict what was coming. Have you ever had someone in your family try to bring you down, steal something that was rightfully yours? I lived through that. Studies show that families dealing with inheritances have up to 60% disputes between members. But what happened in my family was something even the lawyers didn't predict. Today, you're going to understand how to transform a great loss into power. I'm going to reveal how I planned my revenge in silence for 7 long years. You're going to discover how I got more than the inheritance. I got control. If you've been through something similar or identified with this story, go ahead and leave your like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. My grandfather, a man who loved me like no one else, left me $10 million in his inheritance. But my older sister, who was always the favorite, simply decided that wasn't for me. Have you ever seen someone in your family try to steal what's yours? I'm going to tell you how my sister tried to get rid of me in a cold way. I knew she had manipulated the documents, but what I did next, no one could predict. It was my only chance to get what was rightfully mine. They were so confident, but they were about to discover they were wrong. My parents started pressuring me, saying I should share. But how could I trust people who were clearly on her side? I knew all they wanted was to see me fail. That's when I realized all I needed was the right moment. They thought they were in control, but I was playing their game. I knew revenge wouldn't be instant. I needed patience. Every move I made had to be calculated, almost invisible to them. During those 7 years, I did something they could never imagine. Revenge wasn't about what I would do, but about how I would prepare. Everyone around me told me to let it go, but that only motivated me more. At a meeting, my uncle told me something that changed everything. He knew more than I imagined, and soon everyone would find out. I knew time was against me, but one conversation gave me what I needed to deliver the final blow. But what he revealed that day made all the difference in my plan. Finally, the day came. The meeting that everyone thought would be about overcoming the past. But what happened in the end was something no one could ever imagine. I knew the impact of my action would change everything, but what they felt was what really made it all worthwhile. I knew they were expecting me to give in, but what I did was give them a lesson they would never forget. When everyone was gathered, they all expected a peaceful solution. But what happened when I revealed the secret I had kept for years? They never imagined I was already in control, all along. They thought they had defeated me, but the blow was coming from the direction they never expected. When the last piece fell into place, they all understood that my victory wasn't about the money, but about something much more powerful: control and respect. I finally took what was rightfully mine, and more. I got the respect they never gave me. You see, my sister thought she was smart. She thought manipulating those documents and turning our parents against me was her master stroke. But she didn't realize that every move she made was actually setting up her own downfall. For 7 years, I watched. I learned. I gathered evidence. While she was living the high life with money that should have been mine, I was building something much more powerful, a case so solid that when the time came, there would be no escape. The uncle I mentioned? He wasn't just any relative. He was my grandfather's business partner, and he had been quietly documenting every suspicious transaction my sister made. Every luxury purchase, every business investment that was really just her burning through my inheritance. But here's the real twist. My grandfather had anticipated this might happen. He had set up a secondary clause in his will, one that only I knew about. A clause that would be triggered if anyone tried to fraudulently claim the inheritance. The day of that final meeting, when my sister walked in with her lawyers, confident that she had won, I pulled out a folder. Inside was 7 years of evidence, financial records, and the most damning piece of all, a recording of her admitting to forging documents, taken during what she thought was a private conversation with our mother. The look on her face when she realized she hadn't just lost the inheritance, but was now facing criminal charges for fraud, that was worth every sleepless night I spent planning this moment. But it gets even better. Because of the secondary clause, not only did I get my original inheritance back, but I also got control of the family business that she thought she would inherit next. The same business my uncle had been helping me learn to run during those 7 years of waiting. My parents, they had to watch as their golden child faced the consequences of her actions. They realized too late that their favoritism had created a monster, and their pressure on me to be the bigger person had actually been enabling her criminal behavior. The most satisfying part wasn't getting the money back. It was watching my sister realize that every cruel word, every manipulation, every time she made me feel small and worthless, it had all been building to this moment where she lost everything. And here's what she never understood. I didn't want revenge because I was angry. I wanted justice because I was patient. There's a difference between acting out of emotion and acting out of strategy. During those 7 years, I didn't just sit around feeling sorry for myself. I used that pain as fuel. I went back to school, got my MBA, learned everything I could about business and finance. While she was partying with my money, I was preparing to earn it back 10 times over. I started small. First, I got a job at a competitor to our family business. I learned their weaknesses, their strategies, their client base. Then I began building relationships, earning trust, proving my worth. By year 5, I had been promoted to a senior position and had developed a network that would prove invaluable later. The beautiful irony? My sister actually helped me succeed. Every time she bragged about her lifestyle on social media, every time she flaunted the money she had stolen, she was creating evidence of her fraud. Every post was time-stamped, every purchase documented. She was basically building my case for me. But the real masterpiece came in year 6. That's when my uncle approached me with information that changed everything. Not only did he have records of her fraudulent activities, but he also revealed that my grandfather had confided in him before he died. My grandfather suspected that my sister might try something like this, which is why he had created that secondary clause. The clause was simple but devastating. If anyone attempted to fraudulently claim the inheritance through forgery or manipulation, not only would they lose their claim, but they would also forfeit any future inheritance rights, and the wronged party would receive additional compensation from the family trust. When I walked into that final meeting, I wasn't just seeking revenge. I was delivering justice. I had spent 7 years not just planning, but building myself into someone worthy of what I was about to receive. The moment I opened that folder and began reading the evidence aloud, I watched as my sister's world crumbled. Her lawyers immediately recognized they were dealing with a criminal matter, not a civil dispute. My parents sat in stunned silence as they realized the extent of her deception. But here's the part that still gives me chills. When my sister finally spoke, all she could say was, "Why did you wait so long?" And my answer was simple. Because I wanted to make sure you lost everything, not just some of it. The real revenge wasn't what I did to her. It was what she did to herself while I patiently waited and watched. Every lie she told, every document she forged, every dollar she spent, she was digging her own grave deeper and deeper. Today, I run multiple successful companies. My sister? She's still paying off legal fees and trying to rebuild a life that she destroyed with her own greed. Our parents learned to respect the son they had underestimated, and my uncle became the business mentor and father figure I had always needed. The lesson here isn't just about revenge. It's about understanding that sometimes the people who hurt you the most are actually giving you the greatest gift, the motivation to become stronger, smarter, and more successful than they ever imagined possible. If you're dealing with family betrayal right now, remember this. Your pain today is building your strength for tomorrow. Don't act in anger. Plan with purpose. And when the time is right, strike with precision and let justice handle the rest. Because the best revenge isn't just getting even, It's getting ahead. That's how you turn a $10 million theft into a $50 million empire. That's how you transform betrayal into breakthrough. And that's how you prove that patience isn't just a virtue, it's a weapon. The next video I'm going to show you how my sister tried to deceive me one last time after losing everything, but that became her final mistake. You won't want to miss that story. If you've ever felt underestimated or robbed by your own family, leave your comment now and tell me your story. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. If you don't want to miss what's coming next, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Leave a like if you believe that patience combined with strategy is the ultimate form of justice. And remember, in the next video I'm going to reveal the 3 warning signs that someone in your family is planning to betray you, and the 5 steps you can take to protect yourself before it's too late. Don't let what happened to me happen to you. But if it does, now you know exactly how to turn the tables and win.